Carmel changed in many respects on returning, and it changed somewhat before that. But mind you, with the changes that occurred after I left for college, I would come back in the summertime sometimes, and then also too, I was married and we lived on North Beach, almost on Telegraph Hill. It was wonderful. And so I didn't see those changes as much until I moved back here after working in San Francisco. Then I saw some major changes, which had occurred a lot of them in the meantime while I was away. The theater, where the shopping center is, where the Carmel Plaza is, was no longer there. The plaza was there. Well, no, the plaza wasn't there. There were several shops there, and one of them was called Brazilian Interiors. When my wife, Suzanne, and I went on our honeymoon, we went to Brazil. We had taken an excursion to Europe the year before, and we knew a fellow by the name of John Zero, and he suggested you look at the furniture. So this was contemporary Brazilian furniture, somewhat like Danish, but not quite. Made out of Brazilian rosewood and leather and everything, high design furniture. And we decided to open a shop in Carmel. It's called Brazilian Interiors. And we maintained that during the era when the Carmel Plaza was in transition and starting to build. And we had our shop right there in downtown Carmel. And the designer of the furniture was a fellow by the name of Sergio Rodriguez, and did the interior palace and other things in Brasilia. I used to go down there quite frequently, learn Portuguese to some extent, most of which is gone now. And the furniture was such that it was also in Architectural Digest. It was wonderful. It was a little ahead of its time. Now the pieces by Sergio Rodriguez are extraordinarily valuable because his name became important. But Carmel was not the place for that either. We were more woodsy, and this was slick. And but it worked. But we had a lot of fun in Brazil. We samba'd. We went to Carnival. It was a wonderful time in my life. Brazil now I wouldn't go to. It's crime-ridden. There's nothing. But we could go to Brazil and leave our gear on Ipanema Beach, go swimming, and it would still be there when we returned. You don't want to do that now. We were going to take our honeymoon, and since we had been to Europe the year before, we decided to go someplace else, South America. And that's where I said this. We met this fellow. We knew this fellow who was formerly at the language school and was involved with the government agency, some government agency, and suggested we go there. And he brought over a chair, a sample, because he was interested in the furniture. And he brought over a chair that is a very famous chair. So it's rosewood and leather, and it's slung on straps, and it's quite a nice chair. And that intrigued us. So he said, and so we're thinking of where to go. And so we were sitting around having martinis, and he said, well, why don't we go to Brazil? And Sue said, I don't know, I can't no, I can't go this week. I've got to have my hair done. And I said, I've got a Rotary meeting. And so we finally got together, sobered up a little bit, and off we went. There we met John Zierl's friends, who took us around everywhere, and got involved in all these things. John Zierl went too sometimes, and he was very glib. And they thought that we were rich Americans who were going to do some importing. And as a consequence, we met all the important people in Brazil. We met Kubitschek, who was the president at the time, and you know, with a lot of other things. We didn't dine with him, but we got around on John's BS. You know.